Okay, so here we are. Good afternoon, everyone. We would be talking about how Power BI or any other powerful BI tool, and in particular Power BI, of course, can be used to analyze project performance. And when we talk about project performance, we are talking about how a project or a group of projects can be looked at, can be analyzed, can how their performance can be measured. And we have specifically chosen this particular aspect because we realize that projects form a backbone of many organizations. Any organization which is in investing activity, any organization which is looking at expanding, looking at improvement, would be doing certain projects at all the time. Projects represent much of the investment that an organization puts in, and those investments and their return can have a significant impact on organization's future. And that's where measuring, analyzing the performance of projects as they happen becomes very, very important. So, quickly about ourselves, I'm Manish. I run this company, Advaya. Advaya, we would be talking about briefly as a digital workplace practice. And with me is Swati. Swati is a solutions architect and she leads our COE for business applications. When we say business applications, we generally talk about project. How do you manage projects? How do you get right business data and business information out of them? Things like CRM, Dynamics, and so on.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Okay, so very quickly, this is the kind of basic ground rules that we would be following. The presentation is of 30 minutes. We have deliberately kept the presentation at a very much at a conceptual level. We would be talking about a lot of examples, but then we would not be going into the the in-depth aspects of. Yes, excuse me. So we would not be going into the in-depth aspects of technology or specific, data preparation and those kind of things. Uh, and uh, and then we would be opening up for Q&A. Now, what we would request is you keep yourself at mute because there could be multiple participants and any background noise would disturb everyone. And we would open up for for discussions after the presentation is done, which would take about 30 minutes. So that is what we are going to talk.
Sorry for the interruption. Can you please increase your screen size? Can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, I think that would be something that you would have to do at your end in the Skype for Business window. Uh, it's the projection where the problem is.
Oh, okay. I got it. Okay, thank you so much.
Okay. Okay, and in case you have any such kind of connection issues or anything, please feel free to ping on the IM window. We have a team on standby who would look promptly into those aspects. Okay, so what we are going to talk about today would be about what exactly entails project performance measurement, how it really happens. And then we would be talking about what are the different aspects of project performance, what could be the indicators, which we can use to measure project performance in an effective manner. And we would be talking about certain examples. We would be showing you certain reports, certain insights that can be drawn with that, and then we would be summarizing our presentation. So that would be in nutshell what we would be talking about today. So very quickly about Advaya, as I mentioned, we are a digital workplace practice. When I say digital workplace, we talk about things that you do when you are at work, whether it is about how do you connect and communicate with each other at work, how do you manage your projects, how do you manage work and assignments and their statuses, and how do you get right information to make good decisions. all of that we believe is a part of a digital workplace, and that's what we specialize in. So we have been around since 2005 and have done plenty of good work for a lot of demanding customers.
Okay, so project performance measurement is about how a project stands at various point of time, which includes aspect of schedule, cost, and outcomes. Of course, it's built on inputs uh, and like project plan, team performance, project cost, past data, and many other project artifacts. Project performance can be computed objectively using these various inputs, and then it must be presented um, with right perspective and emphasis, and that would be based on specific business situation.
Exactly, and that's what it is all about on the surface. It's all about it's all about measuring time, statuses, resources, and cost tracking time. So what that while it looks to be easy, while it looks to be conceptually simple, but then as we look at it deeply, we realize that it's not that simple. Where is the data coming from? How reliable it is? Is it getting aggregated correctly? And more fundamentally, what to measure, when to measure, and how exactly that measurement can be done.
Yes. So for effective project performance measurement, we need to define what we really want to measure. In a performance monitoring system, indicators serve as tools for measuring the flow of change. Once we have enough inputs, we should identify the performance indicators at broader level. The performance indicators are any of these types. From a project portfolio perspective, it's not enough to track the project performance in isolated. It's important to measure project performance when it is interconnected with the organization strategic objectives, and this need to be done in a timely and effective fashion. These indicators are mainly driven from the mission, the vision, and the strategy of an organization.
So what really a strategic view is about is to look at all your investments and all the initiatives and all the projects in a holistic manner. And what it really means is that you focus on things which are important to your organization in a way that gives you a view into how all projects in their combination are fulfilling those objectives. The that view and focus on the things that are important for the organization allows you to do attention prioritization, which can become very important when you are looking at organization as a whole.
Yeah, exactly. And at the operational level, live tracking of various project parameters allows forecasting, early warning, and benchmarking. These indicators are very important in effective project execution. Examples of such indicators are schedule status, work forecast, resource needs forecast, various variances, risk levels, etc. So these indicators use the current project data as compared to schedule and budget as well as information about known plan events. Correctness of information is key to effective use of these indicators.
And these indicators, more on the operational indicators about how the project is going on. With these indicators, benchmarking can be done for individuals, departments, projects, or outcomes. And that kind of an analysis and that kind of a presentation done in the right manner can help team get towards the ideal state. And detailed analysis of these indicators answers that what actions should be taken to improve the performance. The key here is the ability to see these indicators, how these indicators move against time. The changes in those indicators, the delta and the nature of those changes, they are pretty insightful. At the same time, project performance measurement includes keeping tab on the quality of project processes, quality of outcomes produced, and perception of the stakeholders.
Yeah. So the matrices such as customer response, behavior, and attitude of project teams, team satisfaction, quality of daily work also play an important part as measures of project performance. For example, evaluating the work quality at various point of time by number of bugs or defect found, velocity of work completed, customer satisfaction on different aspects, etc. gives an opportunity to gain deep insight and improve the organization's capability.
Exactly. And for these to be actionable, we need to be able to connect them to specific project events, task types, and so on.
Additionally, performance has different meaning for different people. For your team, time for a particular task or phase, cost or budgets, scope and quality of work items take paramount importance. But for senior management, it might be a project capacity to contribute to the company's overall strategy. Or performance of the overall project portfolio. Whereas your customer may only be interested in knowing if commitments are being or would be made satisfactorily.
In essence, primarily, these are all different views of the same information. But analysis goals and methods, as well as KPI formulation, can be very different.
Yeah, so it could be a challenge to reconcile these differing concerns. The solution to this is to come together and identify the common and differing criteria from the start. So this criteria may include metrics such as delivering the project on time and within budget, achieving the project scope, meeting milestone dates, cost targets, project quality requirements, project risks, safety, healthy, environmental and security requirements, etc.
Uh, in I reckon, essentially the key is that for while various people in an organization would want to have different views on the project performance, there needs to be transparency in terms of what all is going on, what are the different perspectives that people would take, so that people are on the same page and everyone is striving towards a single set of goals.
Yeah. So we talked about project performance broadly and the performance indicators. Let's talk about how these indicators are measured in real time with leveraging project information from Microsoft Project Online and using Power BI for data aggregation and visualization.
Here we would be actually getting into specific examples, and so at the strategy level, the important aspect is how overall project portfolio looks like. And when we look at those particular those project indicators should be something which are in line with what strategic goals of an organization are. So the sequence and the priority of what indicators are, they would correspond from what the strategic goals of an organization is. So, like here, for example, one would also perhaps want to look at not just the indicators of in total for all the projects, but then also look at indicators how they behave for specific group of projects or specific portfolios. So perhaps one would want to look at just a one kind of investments in an organization and how they are performing, how their total costs and everything kind of work out. And Power BI's way in which the data can be sliced and diced gives an easy way to analyze it in overall portfolio point of view as well as individual portfolios.
So to track the details, let's take cost dimension in detail by the help of cost portfolio, which seems that
So here, if you can see when you look at this particular portfolio, there are various indicators which are in aggregate showing certain values, and it appears that it's the cost which requires certain attention. Other parameters seem to be doing okay. So perhaps we would want to look into the cost portfolio in a little bit greater detail. So this is one way of looking at it.
so here in the cost dimension detail, by the help of cost portfolio report, we look into that here is this big cost shows what is the baseline cost for all the set of projects and what is the actual cost which is occurring on the set of projects. So which is helping us to give an insight helping us to get an insight and know the difference between planned cost for all projects and the current actual cost. which is way higher than expected. And selecting on particular KPIs, we get more insight which projects are actually causing the variance, so necessary actions can be taken. This is about cost. Similarly, other indicators like timeline, resource availability, etc. can be tracked to get meaningful insight and corrective decisions.
So this particular dashboard allows us to get a good insight on how we can track the information from in a broader aspect over the across the portfolio, and then drill down to a specific dimension or a specific aspect that really requires our concern and attention. And but then, of course, to align all of this and all to get all the system, we need a system where all of this information can be captured in the way that it can be analyzed.
Yeah, so these reports are leveraging the information from Microsoft Project Online. Project Online is a great platform to centrally update the project plan with current progress, issues, and risks, etc. regularly, and the report leverage these information on different perspectives. And to get the deeper understanding. So next, while
So, while there is a strategic view which is about the portfolio and about how the management attention can be prioritized and how the overall your investments or your initiatives are working, one also has to focus on day-to-day operational project management, identify concerns and prepare for upcoming events, and be able to do course correction.
yeah, so using the direct data connections from Project Online, the information is aggregated to give a meaningful insight to users. Let's see how.
So here is this example where you can see the detailed indicators about a set of projects which kind of give you a good view of how projects are happening, what are the kind of specific aspects and in exact detail. Now that detail can help you make decisions as well as identify where your actions need to be focused on, and these can be looked at from an individual project perspective as well as a small group of projects. So
with these indicators, insight can be gained regarding aspects that need attention. So the KPIs and their combination provide an early warning, and you get an opportunity to take corrective decisions.
So it's this is something that I would want to highlight. It's the KPI combination, combination of various numbers here that allow deeper understanding of what's going on. Now, here, if you can see, if you see here for an example, there are quite a lot of projects which have been shown some green indicators, but then there are a couple of green indicators, a few red indicators. Now, what is the story that it is telling? For an accomplished and an experienced project manager, if a project manager finds that while the percentage complete and costs, they are within the benchmarks, but the deliverable progress is not really there, it probably indicates that either the scoping has not been done correctly or the stakeholders' satisfaction is not up to the mark.
Yeah, so correctness of information is key. And this is, with the help of Project Online, the information can be aggregated nicely to get a meaningful insight for users.
So that's where automation is of these various information processes also becomes important. How are you collecting the statuses? Is there a good way in which the status of various tasks, various project costs can be aggregated? Do you require the system to be connected with your accounting systems or financial systems or HR systems to get those to get that information in? And that kind of an accuracy would lead to a good kind of an insight. The another aspect which is also very important is about quality management, which is a critical part of managing any project. And it could be about the quality of the project plan itself, or the work outcomes, or of a stakeholders' experience. It is important that these aspects are measured and made prominently visible.
The quality aspect lies mainly under three dimensions. First, how you are managing your project on schedule and progress reporting. Second, what are outcomes of your project execution? Are those good in trend or needs attention? And the third aspect is how your stakeholders are finding the end product. Is it enabling them for the set objectives?
And these all three of them, they need to be tracked on a timely basis to keep a close eye on quality.
Yeah, so that's correct. Let's first talk about planning your project better. Project Online provides an easy way for project scheduling, and this is updated on continuous basis as needed. Now, this report directly captures the statistics from project plan, indicating how many tasks are non-summary tasks, how many are unassigned, count of tasks which are on track and overdue, which gives an insight to the project plan quality and indicates project schedule needs to be updated more accurately for correct information flow.
So this is an example of the report that we have created, and it is part of our add value package for project management. And what is important to understand here is that sometimes that the data that is available in your project management system and the data that is captured can be insightful for assessing the quality of project management itself.
Yeah.
The other aspect about capturing project execution, other aspect is about capturing project execution outcomes at each stage. Now, again, there could be certain automation that you might want to do, which at particular triggers captures the quality information, captures the stakeholders' feedback, and so on. And then when you can actually look at it in a time-phased manner, it gives you great insights on how the project quality is going on.
Yeah. So, for example, you track the number of work items completed and defects found against those over the time axis. At other hand, indication on how many defects were found over the period of time and number of days taken to correct those. Such information, if tracked on frequently or at least at different project stages, then it enables project managers and teams to make improvement, to make a balance on these trends and leading towards good quality.
As you have seen in these multiple examples, there is a lot of value in the information when it is aggregated and presented in a relevant manner. Uh, the purpose of the report. So, but then we have to ensure that certain essentials when we are designing project reporting, when we are designing business intelligence from project data, those essentials are taken care of.
So yeah, as we design these reports and dashboards, we have to be careful about these essentials. The report must be intuitive to grasp and not lead to contradictory interpretation. Accurate and transparent project information is needed for making informed decisions and ensuring compliance and regularity.
The the other aspect is about the purpose of the report, and needless to say, when we design a report, when you think of a reporting or a dashboard, the purpose of that must be clear. It has to be relevant for the audience and should convey insights which are in realm of the user's control.
Yeah. So Power BI allows brilliant interactive visualization, which if used well can really make consumption of that information easy and useful. And also we can use alert thresholds and sharing features to make sure the information is timely distributed.
One thing that I would want to add, all of these examples, we assumed a certain kind of projects and we assumed a certain way in which an organization looks at those projects. As you would have appreciated, these can be easily tailored to any industry or any kind of a project. So whether it is construction projects or whether it is batch manufacturing projects or it is expansion projects in manufacturing industry, the same fundamentals apply. So when we think about project reporting or for that matter any reporting, there are certain aspects that definitely needs to be thought about and taken care of. When we look at a BI kind of a project or a BI kind of an initiative, the aspects that have to be taken care of are in terms of how the data is getting captured, how the data which has been captured or which is already there, how it gets aggregated and cleansed, and then how that data can be connected. So multiple sources of data can be connected, common threads could be found, and so that the right kind of visualization and analytics could be done. Now, in the perspective of project data and project information, the things that are really needed are right planning and benchmarking. That kind of forms the backbone of any project insights and reporting. There needs to be right processes and right tools and right automation for that kind of a thing to happen. So I would give an example here. While you can plan a project, there are a lot of other parameters that need to be captured. What kind of business drivers that project is about? What's the kind of management notes which are in there? What's the kind of investment budget that it has? What departments that it impacts, and so on and so forth. If all of that data is not captured right, if the mechanisms are not there, the project insights would not be that complete. At the same time, when it is also important that as the project proceeds, the status data, the day-to-day data about how the project is going, what tasks are going on, what resources have been applied, are there any delays in whatever are the dependencies, what risks or what issues are being faced. All of those they need to be captured, and again. Right partner like Advaya can help you in terms of designing those processes and interfaces where this information can be captured in the easiest manner, which is in alignment with what processes and what workflow is already there in an organization. So many organizations, especially in construction industry, they would have status tracking in terms of daily reports, which give insight in terms of what is the quantity of work that has been accomplished or what is the procurement that has been done. How do you capture that and how do you bring that in the project that becomes important? Other thing is various other non-planned data. We talked about that. So whether it is about compliance to a process, compliance to certain regulations, or it is about customer satisfaction, or is it about compliance to quality processes, or it is about quality parameters, those feedback processes have to be triggered at the right time and triggered to the right individuals so that that data can be captured. And when all of this happens, right reports, right report design, right kind of a dashboard for various roles in an organization would give insight which would come from all of this information, the basic project information, the regular updates that are going on, the feedback processes, as well as information from any other source of information, source of data that you might have in an organization, whether it is financial systems, HR systems, sales systems, or whatever. And when they all come together, you really see insights which can help you get right kind of visibility into your projects, not just a single project, but truly across portfolio of projects, insights into how your resources and what is the efficiency of your organization, and it gives you a framework to learn from and to improve upon. And that's where we can help you with enabling effective project performance measurement. And we have done it for many customers. And as a token of our appreciation for attending this webinar, we we are offering a discount when you inquire and use our Power BI, our BI solutions or our project solutions in coming few weeks. Okay, so it's time we will open up for questions and answers. Please feel free to ask anything, or if you have anything that you would want to add, we would be happy to address those. Have you unmuted all? Yeah, so I think there have been some questions that that we have gotten. One of the question is that these reports seem to be created for service-based industry only. As I mentioned, they can be ported and they can be leveraged. The same concepts can be leveraged uh, for other kinds of projects also. The trick there is in terms of finding the equivalence of effort with other kind of parameters that you might use to track your projects. So whether it is a project which is focused on procurement, or these are the projects which are focused on using outsourced resources, whatever is the kind of tracking that you want. In some cases, you would want to monitor the usage of machinery or equipment. Those all different types of resources, or all of those they can be put in. And the similar framework of how do you look at projects, how do you look at it in aggregation, how do you identify the indicators which are relevant at the strategy level, indicators which are relevant at operational level, those can be identified and done that. There is another question uh, which is about does this tool work with Microsoft NAV? So it this particular set of reports and this particular set of examples that we have created here, they are built on Power BI using data from Project Online. So Microsoft Project Online is of course a great tool for planning, scheduling, managing, tracking projects. It manages that. With the certain modifications, these reports can be used for other project management platforms as well. But then I'm not.
Some of them are directly provided as a connector in Power BI, so those can be directly consumed in Power BI and can give meaningful insight. And for some of them which are not, we are having directly connectors, those APIs or dashboards, databases can be used to get the correct data, and the aggregation and all stuff can be done at Power BI and
Yeah. So, of course, we do integrate information from ERP systems, whether it is related to costs, procurements, or resources, and show it in the same aggregated manner.
Any other question?
So there is a request about the this presentation, and so we would be sharing the recording with all participants very soon, and you can definitely refer back to this as convenient to you.
And we are just putting the survey form link in the chat. So please fill that, and also please feel free to ask any question or suggestions after this webinar as well. With MS Project, the question is, are you using API connection to MS Project Online or via SQL Server? When using Microsoft Project Online, we do not get the SQL Server as a database backend, so we use the OData API, which are more faster and robust to get the connection with Power BI. As well as if you are using MS Project Server at your end, then definitely database plus OData connections or other APIs which are exposed from Microsoft Project, those can be used. But we talk about specifically to project online. In that case, OData are the source of tool which we are using to get the information.
If all measurements are done in Power BI, mostly so. So there are certain aspects of project performance which are best computed in project itself. So project gives a good assessment of percentage complete in terms of work complete, in terms of duration complete. It also gives good assessment in terms of what resource costs have been consumed and so on. So those particular information that are more relevant in a project kind of a situation, and where project computation is there, that those calculations and those metrics are drawn directly from there. The others, let's say variance from budget, where budget numbers are coming in from an ERP system and so on, those measures are defined generally in Power BI. So it's a combination of these two. The detailed calculations are best done in project when it comes to those kind of indicators.
Copy of the KPIs and their corresponding DAX codes. For a couple of KPIs, those are major. I mean, those are definitely using some measures and DAX queries, but those are again specific to project online. So when it comes to different data sources, those would vary. And again, these KPIs depends on organization and project to project. So would need specific discussion how this KPI can make.
So we would love to get into a conversation with you and share with you uh, the DAX codes which you are exactly looking at. So great. So I think that brings us to the end of the webinar today. Thank you very much for attending, and we would be happy to help you in any way that in terms of whatever issues or problems or that you might be facing in measuring your project performance and reporting
or if you're already using Power BI as a tool, then we can help you to get the accurate KPIs and accurate indicators to bring it on the platform.
Right. So thank you very much. And we would be sharing the links to the videos to the video recording of the presentation very soon. And we do request you to fill up the survey form and provide us with the feedback so that we can improve upon the content and improve the way we can help you. Thank you.
Thank you.